If you've been looking at buying a PS5 Pro controller, chances are you've looked at these. This is the Reflex by Scuf for PS5, and we're going to take a look at this. Costing around £219, this is an expensive piece of equipment. These are made by Corsair, which is a brand that I trust. They make pretty much my entire gaming PC. What are they like with PS5 controllers? We've seen recently that perhaps just because it's a good brand, it doesn't mean it's a good product. Let's get it open, see what's inside, and then give it a test. Thanks to the rubber grips on the back of the Scuf Reflex Pro, the controller sits very well in the hand. It's also very well balanced. It's quite a light controller by Pro controller standards, but it's got some heft to it. It'll sit nicely in the hand of anybody who's used to playing with a DualSense controller. Options and share are ever so slightly recessed, which is good. It means you won't catch them too much. The PlayStation button is very recessed, so that's very hard to catch. Also, the mute is quite hard to catch as well. The microphone seems a little bit sensitive, which is good, but you know, the quality is not great because it's just a controller microphone. We've talked in the past about back buttons, your little triggers, and I did catch these a lot. I've complained about that in the past, how I catch back buttons and I press things I shouldn't. But with these, there's a definitive click. So even if you catch your triggers by accident, you're not going to press them by accident, which is brilliant. There's also 3 profiles that come pre-generated on this. You can make your own profiles as well, but those profiles will change these back buttons between FPS, sport, and driving. When it comes to the actual experience, the thumbsticks let me down a little bit. I mean, they're okay. They're not amazing. They do their job. They function. They're a little loud if you move fast. And the click doesn't feel particularly well defined on them. I hope for more, but there we go. The D-pad is okay. I'd say the D-pad is on par with the Sony DualSense Edge. Buttons as well, they're on par with the Edge, definitely. This is my favourite part of the controller, this whole area here. Let's go through it. First of all, the USB-C connector, fantastic. Holds the cable very, very well, very firmly. Triggers here. These are nice and clicky, but not a loud click. Okay, that works for me. It's a nice feel of them activating without having that loud in-your-face clicking sound. The triggers, very accurate. Very, very accurate. Been watching the channel for a while, you know that recently I had a bit of a rant about a Pro controller not having some key features. Now, I know that Pro players don't often use vibration feedback and such like, but this is a racing channel and you need that feedback when you're racing. And I'm happy to say the feedback on this controller is amazing. The vibration it's not too strong. It's reasonably subtle, but the fidelity is excellent. And also because it's not too strong, the controller is actually quite quiet when it's vibrating, which is good. I was worried that because we can lift this flap up here to get into the innards, I thought we might have some excessive noise down here, but in fact it is quite a quiet controller. But staying up here, let's talk about these triggers. Not only are they slightly textured, which is just a nice touch, but the actual strength of the haptic feedback was very impressive, and the speed of the haptic feedback as well. I felt more than once that I was really having to push against the trigger. Unfortunately, what we don't have that we do normally have on Pro controllers is that there's no manual adjustment. There's no stop for the triggers. It would have been nice to be able to put a mechanical stop in there for when I play things that aren't racing games. It does happen sometimes. As you probably know, I don't give scores or arbitrary ratings on this channel. I just ask the question, who is this for? Okay, this could be a more complicated answer than usual, because while this doesn't have some of the features that other Pro controllers do have, such as the mechanical bump stop for the triggers, we don't have the swappable D-pad. It's missing a few things. There's nothing I really dislike about the controller. Yeah, the thumbsticks are disappointing. I will go say that because they're about as good as a DualSense. The reason that's disappointing is because of the sheer price of this controller. Everything else is great on it. It's not mind-blowing, it's not going to change your life, but it's a good controller. Right down to the little things, the recessed buttons so you're not going to catch them, and the fact that it'll connect wirelessly to your PS5 without a dongle. I think this is for somebody who wants just a comfortable controller. One that's not too harsh to the vibration, one that's not going to get their hands sweaty. If you can justify £219 for a controller and you're not looking for something that's going to do everything in the world, you just want something that's going to be good, solid controller, this might be it. And I think this actually follows Corsair's ethos of not going overboard, just doing enough. Is it the best controller I've ever used? I don't know. It's certainly better than the Victrix. I think it's probably as good as the DualSense. I'm not going to try and get free stuff out of Corsair by saying it's the best. It's just good. It's just good. I'm not going to fault it too much. You can also customize these on the website. That is a big plus. There are some amazing designs. I nearly bought some really awful garish designs, but there was so many to choose from. I couldn't decide which one I wanted. That's why I ended up with the grey one. There you go. You've heard what I think. What do you think? Have you got one of these? Is there a story you'd like to share? Are you going to get one? Are you going to not get one? Let me know why down in the comments. I'd love to hear from you, and I try to answer every comment that I can. Now, I want to say a big thank you to our channel sponsor Button Bashers for PCs, consoles, games and accessories. Thank you to our Patreon patrons who make videos like these possible. And thank you to our Discord for just being a little bit crazy. See you again, hopefully.